Okay, so this one is really important, and it's something that if there's one thing that has kind of defined me ever since I was a kid, it's this right here, and it's risk. It's taking the risk. Um, Whatever you're gonna do, there's an amount of risk, and we're kind of taught to not do things that are high risk. High risk is not good. In stock, in school, risky choices, risky decisions. When you look back at history, when you look back at anything that has been accomplished, there is an extreme amount of risk that came along with that. And it's something that doesn't get a lot of credit. And when you guys understand that, when you guys are trying to put yourself out there, you're gonna feel as if it's a risk. You're risking rejection, you're risking people laughing at you, you're risking that feeling of you're not gonna be accepted, and it's a risk. And you just need to understand that it's supposed to feel like that. We would never have been able to accomplish anything as far as history if a risk was not taken. If we did not take a risk, we never would have made it to the moon. We never would have discovered all these countries. We never would have known what trips we can take, what foods are actually good. Everything is a risk. And you have to understand that. And we tend to look at it as if I put myself out there, then this is going to make me look bad, and that's risking my reputation. But what you have to really ask yourself is if you don't put yourself out there, what are you risking? You're risking not fulfilling what you can truly accomplish as a person. You're risking having the regret, which I think is the biggest risk of all. I do things personally that don't require any kind of regret. If it's high regret, then I don't want to do it. Or if it's like, I'm gonna regret it if I don't do it, then I feel as if I have to. Everything you're gonna do is gonna be a risk, and it's something you have to understand. And that's why, if you guys watch the vlog, I say you have to be brave. Because being brave means you take risks. You put yourself out there, you take that trip, you leave that job you don't want to. And even me in my personal life, having to take a risk to leave being a pro athlete, to pursuing social media and influencing people and helping people and taking my job, talent, skills to an online space was a risk. It could have failed in a week. It could have failed in a month. But you have to understand the risk of not doing something sometimes vastly outweighs the risk of taking that choice, taking that decision, buying that ticket. You know, there's been very few people I've met traveling who have dropped everything to travel and regretted it. You know, there's been very few people that I've met who've started businesses that when it failed, they regret starting it and taking that chance. Some of them regret the decisions that they made or the strategies they used, but the risk is where it all starts. It all starts when you take that risk. And understand you have to be brave. And understand people won't understand it. Don't try to explain yourself to other people. Some people won't understand. You know deep down, I know deep down what I'm capable of. You know what you're capable of deep down. And if your intuition, which we're taught not to really listen to, we're supposed to think with our logic brain. If your intuition inside is telling you you need to do something, and you're seeing signs everywhere for like, I wanted to go to, to Europe, and I just saw someone talk about their trip to Europe. When you start to see these signs and your intuition is telling you to do stuff, it's a huge risk ignoring them. There's been plenty of times that I've wanted to do something and I thought, I'm not gonna do it, it's okay. And it's come back to hurt me because I knew I should have taken that trip, now I can't. Now that window of opportunity that I had, I didn't take. You know, I tell the story all the time when I was living in Australia, and the person who I was with at the time, they had a hurt ankle, but I had 2 weeks free. And I really wanted to go visit Sydney, and I chose not to. I chose to stay with that person, even though they would have been fine by themselves. But I was like, oh no, it might be risky if I go there because something could happen. It won't turn out as a good experience, and then I could have just stayed with, no, it was wrong. I didn't take that risk and buy that ticket and go to Sydney, and I missed out on 2 weeks to spend in Sydney because I thought I could do it another time. That's another thing that comes with the risk, is we think, oh, it's a big risk to do it now, but later I'll be fine. We don't know what's gonna happen later. I don't know what's gonna happen later. We don't know. So it's like you have to take that risk, and you have to do it now. Take the risk, set yourself up to take that risk. Start clearing things out. Start making yourself ready for what is coming, what you want to come. It's still going to be a risk no matter what. You can make that risk go down, you can make that risk go up, but everything is a risk. But to accomplish great things, a risk is what you must take.